Okay, so in this video, we're going to learn the basic usage of the definitions app, which helps us make changes in Knack app much more safely. So I have gone to find.knack.com/definitions and I've signed up for an account and I've logged in. So here's what I'm presented with at the start. So to start using it, I'm going to go into my Knack app that I want to examine, and I'm going to go to Settings, API and Code, and copy my application ID. I'm going to paste that here. I'm going to click Submit. So if your app's bigger, it might take a little while, but eventually you're presented with this screen here, which is the interface for finding out what different things do in your app. So let's imagine that I am wanting to make changes to this invoice status field here. This status field I know has been used in a bunch of app logic, but I just can't remember where. Might have been used in tasks, might have been used in conditional rules, it might have been used in page rules, any number of things. And I really need to like add a new status or do something, but I'm really worried because I don't want to break my existing app if I make those changes. So that's what definitions is great for. So if you can't see your field ID there, you can click this little button. You can see this is field 16. So I can type field 16 into definitions and it will show me everywhere that it's used in the app. So used by and refers to. So I can see here that my field status is used by a field called is pending. It's used by the object that it belongs to. So it belongs to the object or the database table. It's used by a scene, so a particular page. It's used by a task, and it's used by a few views. So in definitions, I can click on the left-hand side here to jump to that field and see what refers to and is used by. So I've jumped to the is pending field, and I can see that is pending field refers to status, invoice name, and is also used in a bunch of views and that kind of thing. I can also jump back to my status field and see that. But if I click on the right-hand side, I can actually open that in the builder and see what's going on. Okay, so is pending has opened up, and I can see I have conditional rule that looks at status. Then I can say open up my scene that uses it and figure out where it's in use there. So here I can see, okay, there's a page rule, and the page rule uses that as a status. Similar for tasks, I can open up the task. And I can see somewhere in here we must have the status field. There it is. And finally, I can open up views. And views are like, those elements on the page. That one didn't work, I'm not sure why. This one hopefully will. Here we go. I can see that that is in use. So this one that didn't work, we do get some kind of false positives sometimes. So sometimes it'll link you to a page that just doesn't even seem to exist. So that's just a little glitch in the way that Knack deletes pages. But so if that happens, you can see, oh, okay, that must be a deleted page. You kind of get used to that in your own app that you know, and you'll recognize, oh yeah, that's one I deleted, but it's still showing up in here for some reason. But yeah, you can jump to ones that exist, and when you do, it'll show you, what has highlighted. So I can see the status field here is where it's used, and I can see that this page does exist because I've navigated to it in the page tree. So I can also search for scenes in here. So if I search for scene 9, I can see it has some views and fields in it, and also things linked to it. So view 9 is on scene 9, or links to scene 9, sorry. So I can see that this is view 9, and there's a link to this scene, which is scene 9 here. So if I had other things linking to that scene, it would show up here if I wanted to change a page. So you can see that that's a very useful way of kind of making it safer to make your changes. So back on field 16 here, if I wanted to make a change to field 16, I would need to go and address and check that each of these places that use it aren't going to be broken by my change. So I could go and open all them up, get a good understanding of how I use this field, and then go ahead and make my change. And then I can use this as a list to go and check that each of these places where I'm using it is still working after I've made my change. Super helpful. I use it literally every day.